Savage Dragon 51 from July of 1998. So, first off, this video comes out on December 8th, which happens to be Erik Larsen's birthday. So, happy birthday to him, turning 62 today. Born on December 8th, 1962. So, he's born in 62 and he's turning 62. That's kind of funny. Speaking of Larsen, that brings me to this cover here. This one is actually colored by Larsen himself. Usually, Ruben Rude and the IHOC provide the coloring for Savage Dragon, but Larsen wanted to attempt to use these new computer coloring tools to see what he could do, and I think he did a pretty good job. He obviously likes his lens flares and his nip slips. I think there's some implied areola in this version here, and I appreciate that. But they also included the original version as well in this book, which provides like a nice comparison for the readers who don't want to have to buy 2 issues of the same comic. And then we haven't even addressed the major focus of the cover. Savage She-Dragon is now the titular character in the book. As we saw in issue 50, Dragon is dead, disintegrated into a mist by Abner Cadaver. So the dragon is no more. Now this is She-Dragon's book, and it's a good one. So let's get into it. First off, birthday boy Erik Larsen writes and draws, Chris Eliopoulos letters, and Josh Eckhorn finally has decided to do something with his life and spend it in front of the TV, eating junk food and watching reruns of Mama's Family. So that's living the dream. So Dragon is dead, and his friends can't believe it. Barbaric, the idiot, says, what happens here? Yeah, Barbaric grabs the head of Abner Cadaver and says, "Screw you, dude," and crushes his head, eliminating any opportunity to reverse the spell that he had cast. And, everyone's in shock, but Amy, the She-Dragon, she seems to be getting to business, recovering her power gloves, and then knocking out some villain. And then they all note that the leeches are dead, but the body underneath Horde, underneath the leeches, has disappeared. So who knows what's going to happen with that? And then Amy finds Dragon's severed arm and suggests that they could use it to clone him, but nobody seems to like that idea. Then Chris Robinson brings his super freak brother Charlie to Amy's apartment. And this is an opportunity for her to tell everyone, including the readers, her origin story, which is smart of Larsen here to give this information to potential new readers, or even just update regular monthly readers, because, this book has been going on since the early 90s, and it's almost the end of the decade here, so there's a shitload of storylines to have to remember as a Savage Dragon reader. So a nice little refresher course when a summary is needed is appreciated. Then, let's see. Yeah, they're not happy with the information that she provides. Now, this splash page is pretty dynamic. The POV from inside the grave, closed casket, I guess. It's just like a severed arm in there, I suppose. And, everyone's upset, just kind of says their piece about the dragon. And another dynamic splash page, just a full-on face full of Zeus, daddy of all the gods. Literally Hercules' dad. So he calls his boy, who we saw last in issue 45, and Zeus gives Hercules another task. He has to go and capture a large number of the offspring of the gods who are like roaming around Earth. And he has 2 months to return all these children of the gods to Godworld. And Hercules accepts the mission. And She-Dragon is also on a mission. She put on this wild outfit so she would have some confidence to ask Chris Robinson out on a date. And she is dropping jaws all over the police station. All these guys are drooling and telling Chris to go for it. Meanwhile, Alex is a little upset. Turns out she's kind of jealous, and she might have some feelings for Chris still. So the soap opera continues on Savage Dragon. Then more lunacy. The Eternal Youths show up. It's a long backstory for these guys, but they are the voices that Amy had been hearing from another world. And now they're being hunted by Hercules and the God Squad. So Hercules has brought some help with him to capture all these wayward children of the gods. And that's where it leaves off. A solid start to the She-Dragon run. So here's that cover comparison I was talking about earlier. And this is the first Fanatics in a long time that has some fan art. I'm happy to see that. Some of these dudes waited a long time to get their work published here. I note multiple submissions have a date of 1995. So Larson's been sitting on this artwork for about 3 years. You know, nobody's super famous, but a lot of these guys ended up as professional artists, like storyboard artists, video games, tattoo artists, a caricature artist, just a wide variety of styles on display here. And then another note, there's some letter here. It gets really pedantic about a character's name, and Larson gets fed up. So he's going to quit publishing all the character names in the indicia of the inside cover. So issue 50, you know, it has like a shitload of characters listed here. You see all those names. So Larson's not going to do that anymore, man. He's tired of it. So you can note here, the only one he mentions is She-Dragon. All other related characters are trademarked just in a vague message there. All right, what else we got? Oh yeah, and James Q. Manning writes in. If that name sounds familiar, he was the dude who won the Get Your Butt Kicked by Savage Dragon contest in issue 36. So he's still a fan despite being punched out by the dragon. So that's about it for the letters page. There's some pinups back here, including this one, which is some concept art by Richard Pace, who was supposed to be doing a She-Dragon mini-series, but ended up not getting finished. So this pinup is all that remains. And then this one by Kevin Nolan is pretty nice. I think it's pretty cool. Kind of a more realistic dad bod dragon. And then finally, there's Desperate Times by Chris Eliopoulos. And in this story, one of the guys gets possessed by an evil leech. So that's right. Desperate Times and the Savage Dragon take place in the same universe. My mind is blown. How will I ever recover from this revelation? Find out next week when we look at issue 52.